Cari, amici, sportivi. Welcome you to actually the 1 year anniversary of Red Card Weekly. Yes, our first ever episode was exactly 1 year ago.
Cheers to that.
Salute guys. Salute to 1 year without gaining any momentum. We're still low budget. Here we speak about mostly SerieA, sometimes some European, sometimes some international. And yes, well, we're not professionals, nor do we pretend to be. I am here, Vince. In Champions League mi ha fatto 3 punti sofferti e meno male che abbiate non c'avevo le gambe aperte. Tavernese. To my right, I have Steve. Il Milan è la squadra che io tifo, anche se oggi avete fatto proprio schifo. Polillo? Ah! And I have, to my left, Francis. This morning I was a little nervous, I wanted to have a mojito, but in the end I had a double shot of Diego Milito. Colo Jack. Welcome back, Diego Milito. You know what? I'm gonna cheer.
Cheers to Milito.
To Milito. You know what?
Back.
Welcome back,
Cheers,
Milito.
Cheers.
By the way, we do have like a live audience here. We just watched. We're at my place, Parco Resto Pub. We just watched Milan Napoli. I got Napoli fans in the place. Can we go through the show, please? Because we just
We
came
want to
back.
start with Napoli.
We just
talk about the real big game of the day. A lot of people are happy that the Roma won il derby della capitale today.
Yeah.
Boring first half. Lazio did not come out to play. They just looked like they were sitting back and didn't try to win this game. Credit to Roma that came out, that made a game out of it in the second half. Impressive performance.
Very impressive. And yeah, you know what? You're taking the words out of my mouth. Lazio didn't look like they were in an attacking mood. They looked like they wanted to capitalize maybe on like the counter-attack, maybe on a mistake from Roma, but Roma stuck to their guns, and you know what, in the end, again, a great performance by Totti. Gervinho with his forehead, even though he didn't score, he was a factor, and in the end,
Stop. Gervinho, you're not going to see him on the field for much longer. Lineage today came to play.
Yeah,
He fits right
He
in.
fits right in. For a guy who still hasn't played so much at Fiorentina last year, and he went through all this transfer soap opera to get to Roma.
Yeah.
Milan, then he ends up at Roma.
Obviously
that happens.
obviously.
He fit right in. But guys, Lazio, their stars did not come out to play today.
No,
Hernandez was nowhere to be
Yeah,
seen.
well, wait.
It was much of a physical play from
Yeah,
Lazio.
but
They didn't win.
the system did not help a guy like Hernandez today. Didn't look like they were looking to go forward. And Roma looked good in possession of the ball today, guys. Totti looks like he's 20 years old.
Yeah, he does, but you know what? Well, let's look at it this way. Every year, Lazio seems to come out strong at the beginning of the year, then they slow.
Well,
Now it
this year
seems
not.
that, is it going to reverse? Are they going to go strong in the second half? Is Roma going to start well and go...
Well,
we
now,
shall see.
do you believe in this Roma team? Do you think this Roma team is for real?
Steve, I think you'll agree with me until we see Roma play...
Oh, no.
Juventus.
I want you guys to commit now. From what you've seen so far, come on, they made some key additions. Strudman has stabilized that midfield.
They will finish better than they did last year. That's the only thing I'm committing.
Hey, come on. Do they make the top 3?
No, they don't. No, they don't.
I say Roma, if they address their defensive issues, they could make the top 3. For now, we're just going to leave it that they're at the top of the table.
But guys, they address the defensive issues. Benassi is pretty good.
Yeah,
That was a good pickup.
But still, we haven't seen, just like we'll talk about Napoli after, we haven't seen them play a strong defensive team. We'll see what they pull off, right? And right now, yes, the way Roma is playing, they're playing very well. But just like last year with Milan not winning 2 games in 7, I didn't want to judge them at that time. I cannot judge Roma. Like I can't judge Lazio, I can't judge these teams right now. So,
I really hope for the sake of SerieA that Roma keeps it up.
yes, definitely.
Keeps
I think
it
we can all
up just
agree.
to keep an open championship where no one's running away with it. But guys, Roma, so far, they've played teams or they've dictated the play. I'd like to see them play when they're not dictating the play, just to see the reaction.
Yeah, you know what? That's the great point, Steve. By the way, me and Steve, we just came back from the MAA, Milanisti Alcoholics Anonymous, because we got to be drinking our sorrows away. And obviously, as you can see, it didn't work.
Well, now let's talk about Milan Napoli since you brought it up. The way Napoli started this game, I go, oh no. Milan's in for slacking. But after Napoli scored that game, Milan actually tried to play. Okay, there's a true lack of quality on that team, and it's a one-man show. It's Balotelli by... Okay, credit to Poli. Poli was a very good player today. He surprised me.
Very good. Poli's been playing very good.
He's a bright light, and Balotelli's a one-man show. Come on, you should go tell Galliani, why did you abandon me? There's no one else on that
What
team.
did I tell you guys 2 weeks ago?
What did
Take
you
out
tell me?
Balotelli out of this Milan team. What are we? Absolutely. Yes, we have 7 injuries. But you know what? Just like Inter last year, where they had 17 injuries, right? You can't use it as an excuse. We have no depth. And you know what? Today, yes, people are going to talk, oh, we had chances. Napoli is a superior team. And
Overall, yes, they are.
You know what? They played fantastic. And Steve, just talk because I can't.
No, Napoli did not have a fantastic game.
No, they did what they had to do, Francis,
which is surprising because this year they held up. Back in the days, they would have lost the points.
You think so?
Oh yeah. Back in the days, they would have lost the points. This year, they actually weren't the better team at one point.
Abbiati with that.
My opinion is this. Is that you have a guy like Poli on your team. It takes 7 injuries for him to get a start. Yet Montari finds the field all the time.
But who else are you gonna put, Steve?
There's a lot of options
you're gonna put, Steve?
If you take your time and you look at it, there's a lot of options.
Tell me who would you put instead of Nocerino? Who are you gonna put?
Before the injuries, a midfield of De Jong, Montalivio, and Poli is not good for you, Vince.
It's very good for me.
So then why do you start Montari?
Because Allegri is a defensive
There's your
coach.
problem. There's your problem.
Okay.
Today again, we have Birsa on the field for absolutely no reason. He makes the starting lineup ahead of Niang or Robinho. That's a problem.
I don't know.
You guys have a lot of issues to figure out.
Milan's defense, too slow. Didn't address it. That's another problem.
But a big disappointment.
Yes.
Steve, it has to be Matri.
What a
chicken shit.
$12 million for a guy who does not want to pay the price to score a goal. That's $12 million wasted. That's where you lose your SerieA championship. That's where you lose Champions League.
I'm not gonna judge. Excuse me, we got this live. Excuse me. Yeah, everything's cash tonight. Sorry, we're live here at Parkway. Even my customers, everything's cash.
But unfortunately, guys,
No.
Balotelli gets a red card at the end of the game. I understand he's frustrated. I thought he was above that.
It's okay, we have Matri. Matri's gonna.
Guys, that puts Milan in a serious spot.
That puts Milan in deep shit.
Look, this is the way I look at it. Obviously, they're not playing the way I want them to play. But I'm gonna look back at last year when I was the only one that was like, I'm not gonna judge this team. They had won 2 games in 7, and we still managed to finish third.
But agree to this.
Yes.
Agree that last year was a mirage. A mirage that the Christmas present of Balotelli saved a season where we should have finished 4th or 5th.
And all the crap penalty calls that you got to. Last year, Milan, their ranking does not show the way they played. They did not deserve to finish 3rd, and now this is just an extension of the way they've been playing, guys. Come on.
Can we move on to the
Okay,
next
I just
game,
want to
please?
give credit to Napoli because it's always hard to win at the San Siro.
Yes, credit.
Napoli, we're going to give them credit for the 2
They haven't won in Milan for 20 years.
Let me talk. The thing with Napoli is that by not finishing off games like this, later on in the season, the other teams will make them pay.
Well, they held up today, which is a good sign.
All right. A lackluster Milan. That's where we're going to leave it.
But this is the best Milan could look, guys.
With all these injuries, yes. And you, of all people, shouldn't be judging.
Well, last year nobody gave me credit for anything. It was an excuse last year for Inter, it shouldn't be an excuse for Milan. All right, let's talk about Inter. That won 7-0 against Sassuolo, guys. There's nothing to say except that should SerieA start looking into bring the league down to 18 teams.
Yes.
I think that's
Sassuolo should be playing games of 45 minutes so that it's not 7-0, because that's disgusting.
And even Sassuolo have some pride. At one point they were just standing around. If you're gonna do that, just
take
start kicking people.
Just take someone out.
Come on.
Yes, but you know what? If I was an Inter fan, would I have scored 7 goals? Yes, I would, because you know what? It gives something good for the morale of the team. It's great to see guys like Alvarez, Jonathan, Palacio playing. And you know what? It was great to see Milito as well to score those 2 goals. Now, yes, I feel bad for Sassuolo, but I think this.
Why do you feel bad for Sassuolo?
Because
they didn't show up. If you don't play for the shirt, why even play?
Come on.
Okay, that's true. But you know what? A great. But can you explain me something?
Yeah.
At 4-0, why is Mazzarri still sweating? He's stressing out. What are you stressing out for?
I have no clue.
Hey, he's your coach. I don't know. Now all of a sudden you got Asian money coming into the club. Hey,
we'll talk about it when everything's gonna be made official. We know exactly the terms.
All right.
But it looks like the team is sold, 70% or something. But as soon as we have news, we'll talk about it.
All right.
All right, let's talk about Juventus quickly. They beat Verona 2-1. It wasn't a 2-1 game because Juve totally dominated. And the worst thing that could have happened after the Champions League performance, everyone crying about Loriente. He actually scored today.
I thought that Milan fans were bad. You had to see Twitter when Verona scored the first goal. Oh my God.
But
Juventus this, we're looking bad, Conte out, where's Loriente?
The Juventini are spoiled fans They always want to win. They always want good players. If a guy has 2 bad games, they deserve better than what they have. They're the biggest crybabies. And a lot of them, not our casual fans, I think, they just jumped on the Juve bandwagon over the year because they were the most successful team in Italy. But let's put it this way.
They won.
Today was an ugly win. It's one of those games
it
that
wasn't an ugly win. They fully
They
dominated.
dominated the whole game.
That's it.
They dominated the whole game. Tevez had a great goal. They seem to connect.
Tevez, hey, Tevez, that's a good way.
That's
to
a top
spend
player.
10 million.
What a fantastic player. What a great pickup. A lot of Juventinis
Thank you,
question the
Milan.
pickup.
But here's the question, guys. Here's the question. At one point, Tevez seemed to be gotten hurt. If Tevez gets hurt or Loriente gets hurt, can Juventus keep this space with a Quagliarella, with a Giovinco? Can they keep this
Why
space
not?
up?
Why not?
Why not?
They've done it over the years.
They've done it all the
They've
time.
done it with Bentner as a backup, with Anelka as a
Bentner
backup.
never played. Anelka never
That's
played.
my point. Regardless if people get hurt or not, they're deep enough to compete.
All right.
In Italy.
All right.
In Europe, it's going to be a different story. In Italy, yes. Fiorentina, they won. They remain in the top 5. Who scores again? Giuseppe Rossi. Did anybody think that Rossi would catch fire this early in the season? He hasn't played basically in a year and a half, 2
So
years.
far, he's the comeback player of the year and possibly the transfer of the year.
Yeah, you know what? We're happy. Forget the fact that he's down, but we're happy that he had a very bad injury. He didn't play for over a year and a half. It was a big knee injury. We're happy to see him this way here. But I don't want. I wish let's say how Balotelli right now is carrying Milan on his shoulders with the Gomez injury. I don't know if Giuseppe Rossi is the kind of guy that can carry the team of. You know what? Valero's there to support. There's a lot of different.
Fiorentina and Milan are two different.
No, but I'm saying, but
Fiorentina has a different supporting cast. They
can
play
they do it?
differently.
Of course they could do it.
You
If
think they can do it?
They could do it.
They won in the Europa League, which was nice to see, but all depending. What
Let's
is
get
going
down
to
to
be
the
the performance?
point of Giuseppe Rossi. It's time for him to get back to the national team.
Yes,
Enough with
obviously.
Gilardino.
Oh yeah.
He's
He's going to earn his call.
He's going to earn his
Yeah,
spot.
yeah, yeah.
Good for him. All right, so don't forget, guys, there's midweek games, there's games next week, so it's going to bring SerieA to 6 games for everybody. It should start shaping up before the big matches start rolling in.
Yeah,
All right, so
definitely.
more to talk about. Let's talk about Champions League. Napoli played Dortmund, and what a fantastic result for Naples. It's always hard to go play Naples, fantastic crowd, but credit to Benitez that went in, he went there with a lineup to win. He went with 4 offensive players, he didn't chicken out. Credit to Benitez and Napoli, Insigne, Higuain, Calagione, and Amsterdam.
Here's the question, guys. If the red card is not given to Dortmund, does Napoli still win the game? Do they still dominate the
He
game?
had to give the red card, or else
100%.
Higuain-
No, 100%. The red card was deserved. But 11 against 11. With Dortmund,
oh yeah,
Napoli was still win this game.
absolutely. It's the first time I see Dortmund. They seem to be overwhelmed, and they lost to a team that plays the exact same type of game.
Definitely.
I don't think Dortmund were ready for Naples.
They weren't ready.
I don't think Dortmund was ready for
Underestimated.
it. Not underestimated. I don't think they were going to come out. They thought that they were going to play typical SerieA soccer, Italian, try to be defensive and on the counterattack. This Naples took it to Dortmund, and they weren't expecting.
Yeah, and if you guys saw on YouTube, the guy that the home announcer, when he was announcing the Higuain goal, he said actually Higuain 9 times. He was like, Gonzalo! Higuain! 9 times. The game I restarted, he was still screaming Gonzalo
And
Higuain.
it's a fantastic result, not only for Napoli, but for the casual fan, for the group. This opens up the group, because now the teams have to start playing for the win.
Definitely,
So,
definitely.
fantastic for Napoli, fantastic for the group, and fantastic for the average
Just
soccer
a little
fan.
mention there. In that game too, Napoli failed to close it out as well.
Yeah, okay, you're talking about Dortmund,
No,
but
he's
that's
right.
not
No, he's
Champions
right.
League.
He's
No,
right.
that's
He's
2
right.
games they failed to. They made it harder than what it was supposed to.
No, but they didn't lose control of the game. They were getting a lot of chances, they were just not putting them away. Today, they lost a bit control of the game, but against Dortmund, they did not lose control of the game.
But they didn't close it.
All right, let's talk about Juve Copenhagen, and oh my God. All the average fans, all the fans of SerieA that take priorities of Juve, they don't make a big deal at the 1-1 draw. Okay, Juve did not play a fantastic game, but it's not like they played bad. They missed a lot of chances. The Juventini were going crazy after, like it was the end of the world. They were calling for Llorente, but who would you have benched?
Look,
Quagliarella, which was the sub, actually scored. Would you have benched Tevez?
you know what? Kudos to the goaltender of Copenhagen. He had a fantastic game. He was stopping everything. But these are the kind of things you need to expect in soccer. Now, where I think it might be problematic for Juventus, and I spoke about it in the second show, is that Juventus will not pass this group easily. And that's what I said. Now, having tied... Hey,
This thing is over, Vince.
No, it's not over. It's not over. Okay, guys. Okay, guys. Yeah, it's over. Okay, it's over.
This is a little.
Juventus is gonna beat everybody. They're gonna beat Real Madrid. They're gonna beat Galatasaray. They're gonna beat everybody. Okay, here.
This is a little bump in the road.
They can beat Copenhagen and they're gonna beat everybody.
Vince, it's one of those games that happens to anybody throughout the season.
Exactly.
They dominated. They got 50 chances.
But guys, you don't win games on dominating a game. You win games on scoring goals. That's it, that's all. If you can't score against Copenhagen, I'm sorry, I'm getting nervous.
Vince is showing his casual fans.
Seriously, I don't like that you drink on the show.
I'm sorry. We had a bad afternoon, okay? I've been here since 8:30 this morning. I've been drinking since
A little
9:30.
bump in the road. This group is Real Madrid first.
Galatasaray will give Juventus a run for their
Vince at Parkways on Galatasaray had 2 people from Turkey and RDP, which never happens. Those 2 people came to your place to see them lose 6-1.
against Real Madrid.
Oh, come on.
Mark my words, Juventus, if they qualify, will qualify at the last game.
Sometimes, Vince, that's why I don't want you on the show, because you make us lose credibility.
How do you lose Last year, Bayern Munich, Juventus. Who was the only one that called it? Who was the one that called it? I called it. Called it.
Let's talk about Milan and Celtic, because Milan won 2-0, but it was not a pretty game.
No, I don't.
Thank God Milan played Celtic. That's all I have to say.
You know what? That takes the words out of my mouth because Milan sucked. I don't want to swear.
Royal bag.
Sucked royal. Sucked royal bag. We played horrible, and you know what? Yes, we didn't have all our players, but Celtic. If you think we can finish, Celtic can finish if their life depended on it.
Celtic deserve better.
And that's why I was saying, like, you know what, other than Balotelli in that game, but I'm afraid for this group. I'm afraid for, yes, Ajax lost today against PSV, whatever the case may be, but we need to bring up our game. We definitely need to bring up our game. And to the Milan fans that were celebrating, like going crazy after the Celtic win, you should be ashamed of yourselves because we didn't play.
How could you be told them to be
They won. That
should be. No,
you were jumping in
happy.
here.
You're happy, but did I go on Facebook and Twitter and
but you were jumping. You were kissing the TV.
No, I wasn't kissing the TV.
Everybody's entitled to do whatever they want.
All right. Yes, you're right. Everybody's entitled to it.
This is a perfect example. You see, we're going crazy about Juve and Copenhagen. 1-1. Celtic, Milan, we win 2-0. That's soccer. The ball is round.
But let's get to our red cards of the week. I'll start with mine, which goes to the whole World Cup Qatar situation, which is ridiculous. They actually took a vote to decide if it should be held in winter. Obviously, everybody voted yes, because in summer, it's impossible.
It's like 710
But now, everyone's fighting, saying, well, if it's happening in winter, then the whole thing should be re-voted. And apparently, Sept and FIFA is getting sued by somebody that's loaded in Australia, because Australia put a bid, and now slowly starting to coming out that people got bribed in this whole thing. Nobody's surprised.
Oh, somebody got bribed in the FIFA.
What a joke.
That's
What a
a
joke.
big
Anyways, it's just to show how far the game has come away from the average.
Only Italian soccer is fixed, right? Nothing else. Anyways, go ahead.
Okay, so wants to take over next?
I think I'm gonna leave Steve because I think he's got a lot of anger inside of him. But
it's a toss-up, you know? I could have, everybody knows. I don't shy away with it. I don't think Mutari should deserve to play he should have the Milan jersey even close to somewhere where you can actually put it on, but whatever. I want to give my red card to Klopp.
Jurgen Klopp?
Yeah.
when he pulled the Hulk,
the Incredible Hulk, he turned all red. He looked like he was gonna have a heart attack. On national TV.
More Jekyll and Hyde, I find. Because after he was actually apologizing, he wants to shake the guy's hand.
He looked like he was two different people in a span of 2 minutes.
Somebody's trying to show us their bums there.
Yeah,
the
it's
show.
okay.
And it's not a woman.
No, it's not a woman.
Yeah, we're gonna give it to Cole just for. I don't know what type of reaction is that. I've never seen that. I've not even seen that from Paulo Di Canio.
But credit to the fourth official that did not shake his hand.
No, he did not shake his hand.
Quickly.
So we got my red card of the week. Actually, I have 2 yellows. My first yellow.
We're back at that.
My first yellow goes to Taribo West. Taribo West, they used to play for Milan for that 1 year, came out and said this week that even though I was a much better player, the coach used to play Maldini and Costa Curta instead of me, which I find pretty you know what, Taribo West, seriously, you're better than Maldini. But everybody's talking about him right now. And my second yellow card goes to Boz from SerieA Live Radio.
No!
Oh yes. Boz on SerieA Live Radio said, To all my Milanistis, how did they get a penalty in the 97th minute? You say that the Campeonato is not bought? Buzz, if you don't watch the game, if you would have watched the game, you would have seen that there was a controversy that they wasted 2.5 minutes after a substitution after the first goal, and then you would have noticed that they took 2.5 minutes to actually take the penalty shot. So please, boss, even though you're Juventini, watch the games before you talk. I love you, buddy. Thank you very much, guys. So,
you guys
no,
We
stop.
are fans.
Stop.
I would like an autograph.
Yes, guys.
It's to Peter Love.
Yes, guys. We do have a fan club. So we'll see you next week,
Guys,
Take care.
this was our 1-year anniversary. It was our 43rd show actually. So thank you very much for watching all this time. And yes, we are customers who have been drinking. We're really sorry about this, but hey, this is Red Card Weekly. It's life. See you guys next week.